The untold secrets of dating older women versus dating younger women. Welcome to our channel. My name is Marvin Kane. I am your guide on this journey where we know that love is not judgmental. So, hello, my beautiful souls. Hello, beautiful people. Glad that you are with us and welcome back. I'm your humble guide. Yes, indeed, because I really do not have all the answers. So, even though we have this particular subject that we're going to delve into, please understand that it's not by design, but it's a worthy discussion. It's intriguing when you talk about a variety of different aspects of love and age gap relationships being a, dominant part. I shouldn't say dominant, but being definitely an inclusive part of our society today. It's worth a good conversation. So if you ever wonder what really sets dating, like what are the standards like when it comes to dating an older woman apart from dating a younger one, are they the same? They can't be the same. They're spelled different. Older starts with a O, younger starts with a Y. So buckle up, folks, because today's discussion is bound to leave you in awe. Really, it is. So the power of age gap relationships is where we want to start. Age gap relationships, they bring two individuals together that come from perhaps two different time periods, two different like experiences in life, but the whole relationships, maybe not the time periods, but all relationships do bring people together from a variety of different things like experiences. But the advantage of age gap relationships is that it's a tapestry of perspectives. In other words, we bring different cultures, we bring different lives, different experiences, different moments in time together to form a bond of love. Often, an older partner generally offers a treasure trove of wisdom that the younger person likes to build upon and learn about, helping them to navigate through some really tough times. It's almost like the expression goes, you've not walked a mile in my shoes until you have. But it's not like that in a relationship. That mile that's already been walked is to the benefit of the younger person because now they're new shared experiences that helps them to grow. And then on the other hand, you interject the energy of a younger person into the relationship. I mean, listen, my generation, we were part of the VCR era and then the DVDs. Generations today, they are part of, the crazy computer development. I mean, I was around when the first home computers were introduced to people's homes back into the 80s. But now look at computers. Like when computers were, it was the size of this room back when I was a kid. But you look at them now, they're small. I mean, cell phones, like these things here, these are full-fledged computers doing some pretty amazing things. So times have changed and the perspective and outlooks have changed as well. So a younger person can really add some improvements to the life of an older person. They can be embraced to help them to keep up with the dynamics and the vibration of the relationship. So it's a lot there. Beauty of uncommon bonds. I mean, listen, you just can't say it any better than this. Age gap relationships defy societal norms, but that's so weird to me. There are a lot of stereotypes on age gap relationships, but like we've said before in this channel, the first relationship between a man and a woman was Adam and Eve, and Adam was significantly older than Eve. Some Bible scholars say because of the variety of assignments he had before she showed up, it might have been as long as 25 or more years that he was older than her. And she starts as a zero, no experience. Of course, she's perfect. He's perfect. And there's a lot of divine support in that relationship because it had a purpose. But nonetheless, it's an age gap relationship. And you've got other examples. You've got a 40-year-old man, Boaz, who marries, an 80-year-old man, Boaz, who marries a 40-year-old woman, Ruth. I mean, that's a 40-year age gap. But see, there's a favorable sense about relationships that people just don't seem to understand, especially in North America. In North America, there are lots of age gap relationships, but there's still a lot of people who frown upon them, thinking that people are only in these relationships for selfish reasons, not for the benefit of the other person, but solely for their own personal benefit. But if you go around the world, go to Vietnam, Age knows no boundaries. It knows no number. Different places in Africa knows no boundary, knows no number. Go to South America, knows no boundary, knows no number. See, a lot of times we have a North American mindset that says older men only want to date younger women for one thing. Younger women only want to date older men for one thing. But how about the advantages of a older woman versus a younger woman? Now, me personally, I am attracted to older women. It's something about the wrinkles around the eyes, the crow's eyes, the neck, the face, the skinny structure that they get as you age. Your face gets small in many cases. That's physically attractive to me. It really is. But that's just the physical side. And of course, all men are attracted to younger, beautiful women. We see that. It's like, wow. And that would only make sense because when years gone by, when they were in the present, men picked younger women, women of their age. Those women were younger than they are now. And it's not that anything is wrong with older women. Well, we'll come back to that. It's not that anything is wrong, but we'll come back to that point because that's something that needs to be unpacked. But with younger women taking an interest in older men, it's usually because they want to tap into that experience that he has. But with the older women, it's kind of hard to make a connection with somebody that, feels like they're better than you. Because there are a lot of independent changes that's happening in relationships. Older women are striving for rights. They're overcoming a history that has not treated women so well. And so they're striving for their rights. And in this strive, some of them have kind of pushed men to the side as if he's the enemy or he's the cause for their pain. And when I say this, I mean it very honestly with a heartfelt understanding that I'm trying to pass on to you. Sometimes, because of the trauma that many men have put women through over their years, women are holding on to these baggages. They've got baggage, they're holding on to it. And as a result, it's kind of making it challenging for a man to see past this story that she keeps telling about her ex and how he hurted her and how he did this. Then there's a huge difference between telling your story and reliving your story as you tell it. So I can recall a friend of mine. He was interested in this woman who was actually a couple of years older. He's in his 50s, late 50s, and I think she was 60. She was in her, well, actually a little older than that. She's about 61, 62 years old. And he wanted me to kind of meet her and give him my opinion about where their relationship might go. So I met her. I thought she was a fantastic person. Beautiful woman, beautiful older woman. Yes, she was. Fantastic person, great personality. I started telling the story about my ex-wives. As I told the story of my ex-wives, she interrupted me. She changed it to her story. Oh, my ex. Well, how long has he been your ex? 24 years. She said 24 years. But as she related this story, it was totally different from me telling my story. See, I'm not an enemy of my ex-wives. Now, they may not feel that way, but I'm not. They divorced me. And I'm not the person that harbors resentment. So they walked away from the marriage. I didn't walk away from the marriage. So when I tell my story, it's just a story. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. But when she was telling her story, it was almost like the pain that she felt 24 years ago was relived. And you could see it in her eyes. You could hear it in the tone of her voice. I mean, that's crazy to me. It was actually giving me goosebumps just listening to her. And I could feel her and you could look at her eyes. She's still holding on to that baggage. You got to let that baggage go. I mean, you can't just say out of one time, oh, I want the best for my ex, and then be going back. But I remember when they may have changed. So you dated someone when you were younger who actually kept growing and they've gotten older. That person then no longer exists. There's a new person in those shoes. And see, younger women don't carry that baggage. Now, if they have baggage, here's what's interesting. We've been taught generally around the world, it's just a social norm that you respect those that are older than you. So if an older man is listening to a younger woman talk about her problems with an ex, which People should do. You should talk about your exes. You should open up so people know your history, where you came from, where you might be going. So it's always good to do that. But you don't have to feel that pain again. And don't get angry over it. It's over. I mean, you're just telling us right now, it's just a story. Just like if you were telling a dream, it's over. It was last night, not today. So when the older man starts to advise the younger one, because what she's looking for too is a mentor, him being her mentor, she's ready to listen to his suggestions. Older women generally will not do that because in their mind they figured it out. It's their story. Then they cut you off. Then they don't want to talk about it anymore. They just want you to hear what they have to say. That open-mindedness just becomes a limitation. Open-minded to a point. Whereas with younger women, they're more ready to listen, not to be. And I know somebody's going to send me a message. Oh, they are brainwashed. No, come on now. You're insulting women. Women are very capable of making their own decisions. These women are not brainwashed. They're not naive. They're not full of trickery and foolery. Have you ever talked? And I always go, have you ever talked to a younger woman? Sometimes people describe younger women as crazy people with no experience. They have experience and they have a different type of experience, especially if you are married to someone from a completely different culture or you're dating someone from a different culture. You'll find that the American experience has pretty much been, what is that word? Uh, we tend to have far less experience when it comes to trials and tribulations than many people in the world because it's a lot easier here to live in the United States than it is in the rest of the world. But not to say we don't have problems too. We just have a lot of resources to help us to cope and to deal with our problems. So there's a uniqueness in the connection that comes from the bond that is being created between men and women. Older women are able to have shared values, they're able to show interest, and then deeper commitments come as a result of the love that's being formed. But younger women, it's a whole different level. It's a level with that comes with a lot of peace and less tribulation. So one of the things that's very important is that nobody loses their identity in the relationship. See, older women pretty much have their identity defined. Younger women are developing it. They're developing who they will be at this point and what they may become 10, 15, 20 years from now. The man in the middle, he needs to have it together, especially if he's pursuing a woman. You're pursuing a woman, you need to have an identity. Whoever's doing the pursuing needs to have an identity. You need to have a person. You need to be something to represent you and the mindset. If you don't know who you are, you're just creating challenges for other people. So being authentic to who you are. I mean, sometimes people get in relationships and they change. We all change at some point. I mean, time changes you. But what I mean by the character of the person, they used to be kind, now they're bitter. See, some people change like that. A lot of that has to do with the partner you pick. See, that compatibility, that's not a frivolous thing. That's a real thing that needs to be constantly addressed because letting your woman be who she is makes her a flower that you want to water every day. You want to take care of her. And it's the reverse. She letting you be who you are. See, being who you are is tantamount to the success of a relationship. Yeah, they're going to be pitfalls. They're going to be some situations that come up. But communication is the key to solve just about everything. Communication is the medicine to resolve just about any problem within a relationship, especially when it deals with generational age gaps. So the more the younger woman and the older man talk, the better the relationship gets. It really does. It's very intriguing. But everybody has to be flexible. And sometimes older women are not as flexible. They don't want a man suggesting to them how to think. But see, women who think that way just really don't understand the mindset of a man. A man is a leader. Now, you're not naturally born to lead. We say that, but we don't mean it when we say it. But a man is a leader. He's to take the lead. He really is. He's good at seeing the bigger picture. but he needs help. He needs a partner to help him to solve the problems that's been seen. Sometimes men, we see stuff, we just don't know how to react to it. But our partner does. Our partner is always able, she's always able to give us a different point of view. And that's a huge value. That is bonus. You get a woman like that can help you that way. That level of communication can solve a lot of issues. But that's the ultimate key. The ultimate key is just being open and honest and not holding anything back, being sincere, being genuine, but always staying true to yourself. So this is how you understand each other, by talking, talking. Let them know you got a problem. You'd be surprised how women, younger women, will open up when you tell them what your problem is. Yeah, they may say a couple of things but sometimes what you know that they may say is a reminder that you need to hear again. And then I'll add some new twists and turns to it that you're like, oh, you know what? Here's a new discovery. Maybe I'll try it this way. But you got to be humble too when men give advice, we want everybody to listen to what we have to say. We almost expect it. When women give advice, they hope you listen to what they say. Men, we need to humble up. If we're good at giving advice and she's good at giving advice, just like you want her to accept yours, you need to be willing to accept hers. Just like that. So you can continue to grow. Age gap relationships should encourage and support the personal aspiration, goals, idea, desires of the other person. Now, when you deal with an older woman, she may be extending her goals. So there may not be anything you can add to that. I mean, I'm 55 years old. 55-year-old women pretty much should have it together. They should know where they're going because they know where they came from. They should know their next move. Some people just get set in their own ways as they get older. A younger woman, because she's with an older man, she's going to be open because she wants to learn from him. He's her mentor. So you never want to do anything to hinder an individual's growth, especially someone you're in a relationship with. And when it comes to responsibilities and expectations, you got to figure out ways to avoid resentment. There's an imbalance in responsibilities when it comes in any relationship, but you got to share the equity in age gap relationships. Older women sometimes have developed this is mine. I worked for it all my life. Younger women, they're trying to come together with you. So they haven't worked for it all their lives. So there's some benefit there because now she's helping you to develop with a fresh perspective. Whereas the older woman is developed. She doesn't want you to touch it. She wants it's yours and it's hers. She has hers and you have yours and you're separate. And sometimes people go, well, that's because they learned their lesson. But that's because they have not been completely healed from the past. See, just like when relationships start, there's just that joint bank account. Everybody works from a joint bank account. See, nowadays, the older woman, like, I need mine, you need yours. Well, everybody needs their own, right? That's what cash is for. And it's okay. Joint bank accounts are good. You have the joint bank account, you can have your separate bank accounts. Everybody have their own bank account. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But just in the mindset, why do you have all these separate accounts? See, why do you have these separate accounts? It's a lack of trust there. It's a lack of I want mine. See, and some relationships, the ones that really kind of sore, everybody just puts everything together. You live in one house, right? You drive one car, you're together. And when your relationship is functional that way, the imbalance kind of leaves, and all you're left with is balance. And that's what we want. We want balance. But you got to date responsibly. You don't want to date. I'm not a fan of dating more than one person at a time. And when I say responsibly, to date two people is reckless because now you're putting two other women's emotions or feelings at chance. Chance that you're like this one and not that one. That's just not fair. And especially when it comes to age gap relationships, why would you want to scar a woman? Remember, one of the arguments that men make is that when they deal with older women, they deal with all the baggage. Well, how did they collect this baggage? Because of men. So you really want to date other women while you're dating this younger woman so you can scar her and give her baggage? So who's contributing to the problem here? You're part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And that's how these things need to be really thought out. Both partners should take time to evaluate compatibility, intentions, and their readiness for a lasting commitment. See, you got to talk about these things. Some people, Get in relationships not to be in long-term relationships. It's just for the moment. Maybe they plan to stay in this city for 2 years. Maybe they plan to stay in this job for 2 years or a period of time. And if you got a relationship with them in that moment, in that space, 2 years comes to an end. Guess what? So does the relationship. Some people can't deal with long distance relationship. But one thing for certain, regardless of what relationship you're on, whether you're dating an older woman or a younger woman, you need to know your options. There's always a way out for you. You have to be number one in a relationship so you have something to give to the other person. You have to love yourself. You have to be your number one ally. Because if you're not number one in your life, there's nothing you can offer. You should be so much. It's kind of like money, right? Money to me is for spending. That's what it's for. A lot of corporate companies understand this. That's why they keep growing. They use all their money to keep growing. They don't save it, they spend it because that's how they stay in business. That spending is called an investment. The same thing is true when it comes to relationships. You have a choice, and the choices that you have need to be made consciously. You cannot be frivolous in a relationship trying to just on purpose be unaware of the feelings of your partner. You're under obligation to do the right thing by everyone that's around you. Knowledge helps maintain a sense of purpose and it reduces feelings of entrapment. You can leave anytime you want to from the relationship. You really can. But you got to look at the time that you're spending there. This is your investment. So just like money is for spending, how do you spend that in relationship? Well, again, it goes back to communication. And as you communicate, you're going to discover that, you know what? There are a lot of fresh ideas when it comes to age gap love because age gap love is exciting. Dating someone younger than you is exciting. Dating someone older than you is exciting. Dating someone the same age as you is ordinary. It's ordinary. I mean, it's kind of what's expected. But you know what? Look at the divorce rates. And those statistics that talk about age gap relationships, I'm telling you, if you've ever seen them, people talk about the science, it is so biased. Because what you have to do is you have to look at a community of people. You just can't be broad because then it's the same associations that are being made that they do properly with people in marriages. They'll do people in marriages with 3 kids, people in marriages with 2 kids, people who are of this religious beliefs, people who have 2 different religious beliefs. See, they'll do all of that for regular relationships because it's easier to define that. When it comes to age gap relationships, there's an extra amount of work that needs to be done that's not being done. So when you look at those statistics, they're very biased, close-ended, not open-ended. So fresh ideas, looking for the dynamic, the next dynamic that you can experience with your partner. Learn their hobbies. Do some of the things they like to do. I mean, if you like watching chick flicks, well, maybe she likes watching chick flicks. Maybe you'll learn to watch some chick flicks too. And the same is true when it comes to things like movies. You got to be willing to compromise if you're going to be with this younger woman because she's not set in her ways yet. See, this is the opportunity for both of you to grow. But it really requires to date a younger woman a humble man. You really have to be humble. And you got to be kind and you've got to be caring. So, in conclusion, age gap relationships can be incredibly rewarding. Dating women your age can be incredibly rewarding. When both partners embrace open communication, they're honest, they have shared responsibilities, there's mutual growth constantly going on, then love knows no boundaries. It's endless and it flourishes. And every day when you nurture your partner, you're nurturing love, you're showing that you understand and that this commitment is real. So, my wonderful audience, it's been great that you've been here with us today. We hope that we've left no stone unturned. If you would like to know more about these subjects, just send us a message. Send me an email or drop a comment in the comment box. And always, if you made it this far and you've been listening to us, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel as we continue to grow and share good insights and information with you about relationships. We talk all things relationships. We have over 700 videos at this date on our channel. Today is October the 18th, 2023. Over 700 videos. So we hope you enjoy them all. So tomorrow at 7:30 a.m., we're going to have another discussion, another amazing discussion. This time we're going to talk about relationship anxieties, always with a hint towards age gap relationships, but the things we all have in common, those possibilities with those options we just talked about. Should you leave? Should you stay? The anxieties, like why are you not comfortable? What is causing this uprise in your mindset, this uncomfortableness? Well, you know what? Let's talk about it. So we'll see you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here where love is not judgmental. My name is Marvin Kane. I'm your humble guide, and I thank you for joining us today. And as always, remember this.